Hi everyone, I'm Nikki Haverstock and this is the Author 2 portion of my YouTube channel. I am an indie author who's published 15, I think, cozy mysteries on Amazon. And I'm here to talk to you about one of my sort of productivity hacks. And this is, if you've ever watched the channel before, you know this is a little different angle. Normally I sit like this, but I specifically move the camera so that you can see some things that I'm going to kind of talk today, which is I like to keep a rolling list of sort of 15-minute, 5-minute, half an hour tasks. So how often have you maybe been writing and then you get to a point where you go, either it's the end of the chapter or it's end of a section and you're like, I need to spend some thinking time, which I do a lot. And you go, oh, but maybe my family's out for another half hour, maybe bedtime's not for a bit, maybe your kids aren't awake, whatever. You kind of have this little chunk of time. And how often have you found that time just sort of disappears? And so I like to keep a bunch of items out. I call them mostly admin tasks. That's how a lot of indie authors, I don't know what trad authors call it, but indie authors talk about they have their writing and they have their admin duties. And kind of everything that's not writing is admin. So if it's not outlining, writing new words, editing, stuff like that, it's kind of like admin tasks. And so that's the terminology we use in the indie community to refer to these tasks that aren't really writing, but are part of your publishing career. So what I'm going to propose to you is that you start a list of 15-minute, half-hour tasks. And when you look up and you go, oh, I only have a little bit of time, scan through the list and find things that you can do. It's a great way. I am going to do a new video soon on my current writing schedule because it's changed a little bit. And I do a bulk admin in the morning and then I do a write in the afternoon. But there have been times when I absolutely can't write. I just don't know what to write. I need to think. And sometimes, especially I have like seasonal affective disorder, so winter's especially challenging for me. If I'm not writing, but I'm doing several hours of admin a day, I'm at least making progress in my career. And then maybe I need to try differently tomorrow. So I'm going to give you some ideas of things that you can put on your list. Now, first of all, I'm going to tell you, so right here you can see these are items that sort of need to be done in the next week or two, or this week. And I keep them right here. I keep them on a Post-it. So when I'm writing, I can look down and see them. This whole section is potential YouTube video ideas. And so I might look over, grab one off, and start writing notes on it. You can't quite see, but you can see a bookshelf here. All along here are sort of longer term ideas. So I know after 5 years or almost 7 years of writing that winter tends to be a time when my brain works a little differently. I kind of feel like my creative mind sort of hibernates, but there's a lot of important work I can do during that time if I don't just bang my head against a wall with my thing. So these are like long-term projects. This might be like learn Crello, experiment with segmentation in newsletter, Instagram investment. Don't know what that means, but I guess I could find out. Facebook Creator, which is Facebook's free sort of like tutorial system. Make a decision tree. So these are all long-term ideas. BookBub ads, I need to learn those. I need to learn how to record my videos better and edit them. So these are like long-term tasks. You don't have to do it this way, but this is kind of how I do it so that things are there. I'm someone, you can see my vision boards, which I'm going to mention. Some of these, you probably can't read them, but some of them are like long-term things that I've learned that help me. You can see the Post-its on my computer that are things that I want to see every moment of the day. Down here, sometimes I keep long-term tasks or notes related to my current work in progress. Got a lot going on here, but I moved it this way so that you can see. And the idea is I don't want to waste my time. Now, if you watch my video for thinking authors, you know that I think thinking about your work is something you can do. But when you are not in the mood, your brain's not working, you're frustrated, you're whatever, or you just only have a short period of time, this is a great system. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some ideas of things that you can do. And every single one of these could be a video. If you hear one that you go, I want to hear more about that, hit me up in the comments. But these are a bunch of stuff that you can do in a short period of time. So if you watch a video, You watch a video, they get this great idea, jot it down on a Post-it, put it here. I like Post-its because I need to see it. I have to see it to remember it and keep it in my working memory. If you're not that kind of person and you do great with digital planners, you can do a digital planner list. You can do a Word file, any of that. This is just a system I've discovered. If I have a to-do list and it's hidden away somewhere, it might as well have never been written. I need to keep it out. I need to, my anxious mind needs to know that I'm gonna see it again and it's not gonna get filed away. You can start a list of tutorials, blog posts, YouTube videos you want to watch. And instead of just randomly watching like the blooper reel from the IT crowd, sit down and read one of those blogs or read one of those tutorials. Every time you read or watch a tutorial and you go, oh, that's a great idea. I want to try segmenting my news list. You can put your long-term plan, like a day when maybe you can't write, maybe it's off at the editor or whatever, and you have a 4-hour block. Oh, so you can, sorry, my notes apparently are worse than I thought. You can do research for your genre. So researching your genre and knowing your comps, your comparable titles, and your market is not something you can do in one day. You don't want to do it in one day because people run aggressive promos, their books shoot up to the top of the list, and then they're gone the next week. And if you go and you look one day, you are getting a single snapshot of that genre. And what you need to see is 100 snapshots. So 15 minutes is a great time. Go over to your genre you can do it on Amazon. I'm going to say that you should do it on Amazon sometimes, and you should do it on like iBooks, Kobo, because Amazon is much more susceptible to these huge marketing swings. These big KU free days, their book shoots. Nothing wrong with that, but you want a complete picture of the market, whereas like some place like Kobo is less susceptible to that. They don't have the same kind of big, huge marketing pushes, which is a plus and a minus. But so what I'm saying is you can do 15 minutes, go to your genre, look at the top titles, look at the ones that have really good rankings, which is your top, look at the free, look at and start just getting familiar. Specific things you can look at is you can look at the screen, you can look at covers, on my phone, I used to do little screenshots and keep them in a folder. And then after a while, you can look at dozens and dozens and you can see a trend. Paranormal cozies with a witch, they're going to have a witch's hat on. Whether or not their character wears a hat, they have it on the cover. A lot of them are silhouettes. A lot of them have a cat or a dog or some sort of familiar animal on them. Then you start getting this, oh, I know what a paranormal cozy witch detective looks like, and that's going to be really helpful because you want the readers who love this genre to recognize it. So that's something you can do in 15 minutes. It's great. You can do it in 5 minutes. Go and look at your genre on Amazon. Next week, look on it on Kobo. Just do a brain dump of all the ideas that are in your head. If you're someone who's always got a million projects, put them in a piece of paper, in a file. My therapist, this note right here, says that one of the most effective ways of getting a stuck thought out of your head is to write it. You can do morning pages. So if you've ever read The Artist Way, she talks about morning pages, that she recommends doing them at the beginning of session. I actually do them depending on where my need is. I should probably do it more often, but I do morning pages and ideas. It's just a train of thought, and it can be everything from like, I worry I'm not good enough, why is so-and-so who's a terrible writer making more money than me, whatever, but you get it out of your head. It's a really effective way. I was taught this as I had reoccurring nightmares. Write the end of the nightmare. So just do a brain dump. This is a great time. Journal, whatever. Collect images for your social media accounts. So this could be, I went on Pinterest and I looked at murder memes and got a bunch of memes about, detective stories, Jessica Fletcher, stuff like that to use on my Instagram and my Facebook account. You can search on stock image sites to grab images to inspire you to kind of create either a mood board for your book, potential advertising images, potential cover images. Deposit Photo is a really popular one because they have their yearly deal where you can get 100 credits for $50. That's where I get all my advertising images. So, going on there and looking up pictures of dinosaurs, or, because I have a dinosaur character in one of my books. Stuff like that. It helps you to know what kind of images. And sometimes it's really easy to get the perfect image for your book by knowing what images, what images are there. That's another one. Read. You've always been saying you need more time to read, that 15 minutes, but having it there where you can see it, if you are like me, some of you are like, I don't need to be reminded to read. I do. I have 10 minutes and it doesn't occur to me I can read. You can't see, this is a bookshelf right here. Pulling out one of my books and reading one chapter, listening to an audiobook, listening to a podcast. You can Pinterest your vision board. So these are behind me. I want to do a, so when I'm writing, they're right there. And my my vision board was made on Pinterest. So I started out by looking up quotes from people that I knew I wanted on my Pinterest board. I looked up a couple Bible quotes. I looked up Stephen King quote, and started a vision board on Pinterest. And I did Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Mindy Kaling. I got some Stephen King, I have some Jerry Seinfeld, and a number of Bible verses. And then Pinterest what about this? What about that? So I also have Winston Churchill. I have The Gap. I have The Man in the Arena. I have Ecclesiastes 3, which is, something for every season. Just a ton of stuff. And so start putting vision boards. Ooh, sorry, it went way out of focus. Start putting together images that are going to inspire you, that you believe in. If you read a lot of these, you can tell that I am someone who really values grit and perseverance, because a lot of my quotes are about outlasting your competitor and all that. Test drive an app. So there's Canva, there's Bookbrush, there's Trello, which I got a lifetime subscription to. All three of those are websites and apps that are designed to make memes, to make advertising. Bookbrush, you can actually make covers on. Download them, sign up. That's a perfect, like, a 5-minute task is getting it set up on your computer and on your phone, so you can just log into it. A great 20-minute task is just navigating around and seeing what's in there and seeing what you can do. I make my thumbnails for YouTube on Canva. It's a great tool. There's free for all of these, like Bookbrush. I think it's Bookbrush, is you can download 3 images a month for free on the free plan. Canva's unlimited, but there's certain images. And Trello, which is their big thing, is you can do animated images. They had a deal where, like, for $50 you could get a lifetime membership to their gold level. But all of those are useful at any level. So test drive that. Another option is just make your 15-minute list. You have your 15 minutes, make a 15-minute list. I just sat and I just kept putting stuff down and putting stuff down. This is something you can do that will advance your career. So another way to research your genre is go to some of the leaders in the genre. So, like, for cozy mystery, contemporary, not paranormal, I might go to Jana DeLeon. She's incredibly talented. She's, as far as I know, in cozy mystery, one of the most successful authors writing right now, and you can read her reviews. What are people saying? What words are people using over and over? Are they using the word funny? Are they using the word twist? Are they using the word spunky? Like maybe not spunky. I know it has connotations in other countries. But anyway, what kind of words? And that tells you the readers of this genre who love these books, these are things they're relating to. Are those something that maybe your character has that you can play up in advertising or in the writing? If not, if you go, oh, that is not what my books are, maybe find a better comp author and find out what people like. Is it fast paced? Is it melodic poetry? I can tell you that in my genre, the technical, like, literary writing is not nearly as good, as important to people as entertainment. They love things like colorful characters. They want someone that they can kind of relate to, kind of want to spend time with, things like that. Read, so this is a little getting to dangerous, you can read your 5-star reviews. See what words pop up. I had no idea that my books were going to be fast-paced until readers started telling me that they were fast-paced and that they enjoyed that. And I went, oh, yeah, I guess I get that, because I don't, my books tend to be shorter because we're not goofing around, going on while we are getting to the action. Something needs to be done, we do it. There's something that's unclear, they ask. That's kind of how I write. And so that's a good way of finding out what kind of writer you are and what readers like about you. And that's not something that I think everybody knows until they start writing and publishing. Another one is brainstorm newsletter ideas. And the sky's the limit. The things you can put on these lists. Every one of these, you're an author tuber, you know, this is my list of potential ideas. And when I have no ideas, I go and I look through there and see if something looks good. Or something like this, which is, I was talking to some friends in my online writing group that meets every single day that is on Slack. And I said, I really need to make a list of 15-minute ideas so that when I have a few extra minutes, I could do something. And one of them goes, that's a great idea. Have you made a YouTube video on that? And I was like, I think I'm going to. So these are great ways to improve your productivity and especially if you are someone like me who struggles with depression and anxiety and all this, you know, negative thought. Action is something that for me helps to push those aside. It's kind of like the same part of my brain that worries and ramps up and gets in these loops is the same part of my brain that actually does work. So doing work that is helping me move to my goal is something that makes me feel better. So this is actually a way that I can deal with my anxiety. I'm anxious about my sales. I can go look up newsletter promos from the companies that I trust, which is for me is author. It's either APX or either AXP or APX. I get confused. And Ryan Z are two newsletter builders that I use and I enjoy and I found good. But I can only use them about every 4 to 6 months, maybe 3 to 5 months. Otherwise, you get too many of the same readers. But that means that I'm all like, that one day I'll look up and I'll be like, oh, I haven't done a newsletter builder in 6 months. I should do that. Goes in the list. It only takes about 20 minutes, but it's like I've got to get out the calendar. I've got to write in the calendar. I've got to do all that kind of stuff. So start a list of those things. Start a list of things that you can do when you have these little breaks. And I think they're especially useful because we all know that feeling of going to your writing space or getting out your computer or whatever, intending to write, not being in the place to write, not having maybe the tools at that moment to deal with that. And then just leaving the day and feeling like, I got nothing done. So if you have a list of these things, then you can say, I didn't write, but I did get a lot of stuff off my list that I've been meaning to do. So there you go. So I hope that's really helpful. Please, please, please share with me in the comments your 15-minute, your 5-minute, your 30-minute ideas that you do when you're struggling to write or when you have just a little bit of extra time. Bye.